The British Empire didn't rise through fair competition or honest trade alone. Its foundation was built on taking, not small-time theft, but large-scale government-approved plunder that reshaped global power. In the 1500s and 1600s, the English crown effectively turned piracy into a business model. They hired captains to raid enemy ships, rewarded them for stealing, and shared in the profits. History gives them a polite name: privateers. But we should be clear, these were pirates wearing the flag of England. Their attacks weren't just random crimes. They were strategic operations that helped transform England from a struggling island into the world's most dominant empire of the modern age. Let's rewind to late 1500s. Europe, Spain, and Portugal were the superpowers. After conquering the Americas, they controlled rivers of wealth flowing across the Atlantic. Silver from Potosi, gold from Mexico, sugar and spice from the Caribbean, and the human misery of the slave trade. Their treasure fleets funded massive armies, royal palaces, and global expansion. England was poor, underdeveloped, and overshadowed. Queen Elizabeth I didn't have the money or military power to confront Spain directly, so she chose a different strategy. If England couldn't build more wealth, it would seize someone else's. Elizabeth issued letters of marque, legal documents that turned pirates into agents of the crown. Capture a Spanish ship, the crew kept a portion, investors received returns, and the crown took its cut. Piracy became a government-approved investment. Theft turned into national policy. Among these privateers, one name stands above the rest: Francis Drake. Textbooks call him an explorer, but the truth, his famous voyage around the world was a carefully planned mission to rob Spain blind. In 1577, Drake set sail with 5 ships under the cover of secrecy, officially discovering trade routes, reality hunting treasure. His biggest score came in 1579 off the coast of Peru, when he captured the Spanish galleon, Nuestra Señora de la Concepción, nicknamed Cacafuego. The ship was loaded beyond imagination, tons of silver crates of gold jewels, exotic goods. The stash was so overwhelming, it took nearly a week to empty it. In today's value, historians estimate it at over $40 million. Drake returned to England with only 1 ship left, yet generated a profit of 4,700%. His investors became rich for life. Queen Elizabeth herself earned enough from the voyage to eliminate her national debt, and in a moment of royal gratitude, she boarded Drake's ship and knighted him on deck. That's how piracy became patriotism. Drake continued his campaigns, striking Spanish ports like Santo Domingo, burning Cartagena, and attacking settlements across the Caribbean and Florida. These weren't minor raids. These were state-supported assaults on entire cities. Spain called them acts of terror. England called them strategy. But Drake wasn't the only one building empire through plunder. In the next century, another infamous name took the stage: Henry Morgan. In 1671, Morgan led over 1,200 men across Panama, capturing and destroying one of Spain's most valuable cities. Panama City went up in flames, its wealth hauled away by the wagon load: gold, silver, silk, and enslaved people. Even though England and Spain were officially at peace, Morgan returned to London not in chains, but eventually rewarded and knighted, later becoming Lieutenant Governor of Jamaica. Once again, piracy didn't lead to punishment. It led to power. Here's what set English piracy apart. It was organized like a business. Ships were funded by wealthy investors. Crews were promised profit shares. The crown collected its portion. Loot was divided like corporate dividends. This was capitalism in its most aggressive form. High risk, high reward, backed by armed force. And the results were transformative. Spain, once unstoppable, suddenly looked vulnerable. Its colonies lived in fear. Its treasure fleets became targets. Meanwhile, England gained the capital it desperately needed: money to build a stronger navy, expand trade, and establish its own global presence. The stolen gold and silver didn't just enrich individuals, it seeded England's rise as an empire. And when open piracy became less convenient politically, the system simply evolved. The financiers behind privateering began backing a new creation: the East India Company. A corporation granted powers once reserved only for governments to wage war, conquer territory, control trade, and extract wealth from overseas populations. Instead of raiding ships with cannons, they used paperwork, taxation, and monopoly laws. The brutality remained, but wrapped in the language of commerce and progress, the underlying model never changed. Take wealth from others, funnel it back home, call it development. You can see echoes of this system today. When governments want something done without being blamed, they outsource. In the 1500s, privateers today. Private military contractors. When powerful individuals want to protect wealth, then letters of marque and hidden investors, now offshore accounts, shell corporations, and financial loopholes. When nations compete for dominance, then attacking Spanish treasure fleets. Now sanctions, cyber warfare, currency manipulation, tools evolve, strategy doesn't. And here's where it matters for us. If the most admired empire in history was built by sanctioned theft, why would today's global financial powers behave any differently? Consider this: Queen Elizabeth knighted a pirate because he stole enough money to save the government's finances. That wasn't ethics, that was economic survival. Throughout history, when those in power needed wealth, they always found ways to rewrite rules, shift risks, and take from ordinary people. Piracy became policy. Gold ownership was banned in the United States in the 20th century. Inflation quietly erodes your savings today. Different centuries, different methods, same principle of extraction. The British Empire didn't rise by playing fair. It rose by weaponizing finance and force, turning criminals into national heroes and turning stolen fortunes into the foundations of global domination. And history leaves us with a warning. When governments are desperate, they will look for modern pirates. Some will command warships, some will run banks. Either way, the system survives and everyday citizens pay the price. If this gave you a new way of viewing history, hit subscribe. Here at Financial Empire, we explore how money, power, and strategy shape the world, and how those same forces still impact your life today.